much. And now to Sandra Bullock, opening up about her personal life and her kids like never before.
Yeah, she leads an all-star lineup in the new movie Ocean's 8. It's about a jewel heist at the Met Gala. We're going to be speaking to the all-female cast throughout the week, starting with our candid and emotional conversation with Sandra about her real-life role as mom. But we started off by talking about Ocean's 8.
I wanted to be a part of something that seemed like it would be a lot of fun to do, but that would also give the viewer a lot of pleasure just to be able to sit back, enjoy the ride.
And you're the ringleader.
Yeah.
Because that's how you roll.
That's how I roll.
Okay. When people see you, they see, you know, movie star movies and all that. If you were to line up your priorities and you were to tell me 1 through, I don't know, 3, how would you prioritize your life now?
Well, it's my kids. Everything is about them being okay, being in school, having what they need, their moments. I need to be there for every single moment that they have. It's harder for me to leave them than I think it is for them when I leave. I don't leave that much, and I don't work that much anymore either. I keep looking at them going, I got nothing but you. And they're like, oh. You know, I told them where they can go to college. I said, these are the places that I feel comfortable living. So you have these choices. So my priorities are my kids, my kids, my kids. My family. That's it.
When you were like 41, 42, 43, did you think to yourself, you know what, maybe not?
I did think maybe not.
Yeah.
And then Katrina happened.
Oh.
And I'm gonna cry. Katrina happened in New Orleans, and I knew, like, just something told me that my child was there. It was weird.
Was it a gut feeling or a God feeling?
I think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a difference.
Yeah.
I really don't. And it was the process of filling out forms, being judged, being, you know, having sort of being in the spotlight, you know, about who you are as a human being. That is awkward. And then it was, 4 years later. 3 or 4 years later.
Wow.
But then I looked at him, I just said, oh, there you are. It's like he'd always been there. It's like he fit in the crook of my arm. He looked me in the eyes, and he was wise. My child was wise.
Funny what you know in like a second.
And the beautiful thing that I was constantly told was the perfect child will find you. You will find your child. Stop. Look in that direction. I'm
trying not to look at you.
But you don't believe that when it's not happening. You know, when you're going, where is my family? Where's my... And when it does happen, you know exactly what they're talking about.
It's so funny because without knowing it, when you adopted Louis, a lot of people were looking at you. And I remember, because I was in Rio for the, I'm going to cry, I don't know why, because
look that way.
I'm
look
trying
away.
hard.
Look away, Madge, look away.
But I was in Rio, and I was trying to figure out, like, did I miss my window? Am I too late? Should I have done, a bunch of woulda, couldas, and all of a sudden, I Googled you. I just wanted to know. And we were from similar areas in Virginia. We're the same age, and it was almost like hope. I said, oh my God. And literally that in Rio, after that, there was the little boy in Syria. I don't know if you remember him, but he had like dirt in his hair and he was sitting. That image came on the screen, and I cried, and I said, you know what, like if I need one more sign, like I'm going home and I'm starting to fill out all that paperwork. And I remember I reached out to you, and you gave me some good advice, but I thought, you don't even know who you inspired. You know, because I told you, but how many other people looked up and saw you?
I hope me telling my story let people know that there's no end game. There are hundreds of thousands of children that are ready to be your child. You're a forever parent the minute you accept the love of that child. And it's amazing to me how we can take away people's happiness by telling them that this is the box that you have to stay in. There is no box. There's no box.
So you have Louis.
Yeah.
And you had like a complete family, but it wasn't done yet. You weren't done yet.
No. I was having dinner with some girlfriends of mine, and Louis was like, wanted to sit with them. He came out of his bath. He was like 3, had his little belly in his towel, and put his hands behind his neck. And she was talking about her daughters. He goes, yeah, I don't have daughters. And she went, you don't? He goes, no, I don't have a daughter, but I'm gonna have a baby soon. And they looked at me, and I was like, I swear, I'm not, there's nothing out there. And I realized at that time, maybe he knew something. And when I think about it, it would have been around the time that Lila was born.
Oh my God.
So again, is it coincidence? What is it?
It's not coincidence.
It's Louis's way. Louis has a very strong way, and he's a fine leader, and he led me to life.
What would your mom, if your mom were here?
She'd love it.
She would?
She'd love every minute. And I often sit and, like, I wish they would just allow the person who's deceased just to beam down for a second. So you can say, when do you want them to show up? And I was like right now would be the ultimate time. I just want her to see how everything is okay. And how amazing. I mean, I truly think that she had a hand in it, you know. I think she had a hand in the gifts. So I just want her to see that we're okay.
You're more than okay. My God.
It's just like being a mom, I finally realized, oh, this is what I was supposed to do when I grow up. Not be an actress, to be a mom.
This was the purpose.
Oh, this was it. This is my purpose. And I knew it at a very young age, and I think my mother saw that. She was like, please, not that young. Please, dear God, not that young. Not 17, honey. But I felt that calling at a very young age, but I had to become the mom that I was supposed to be for the kids that were waiting for me.
I can't wait to see what happens to those kids.
Yeah.
They're going to rule the world.
They are. They already are.
They already are. I don't even know how to say thank you, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I feel like this is therapy.
We all do.
It did kind of feel like I wanted like some Twinkies and to get under the covers after that interview. It was like that kind of a thing. But isn't she so inspiring, Doug? When she said there is no box. Like, I was just thinking about all the people watching who might think, like, my window isn't closed yet.
I was thinking that too. You said she inspired you. I'm thinking you're inspiring others, and it is true. It's like when your baby comes, like, that's my baby.
Yeah,
that's
I was inspired by my parents because they did the same thing with 3 of us. And then when we got Courtney, and I looked in the back seat, there was nobody there an hour earlier, and then there's my girl.
Wow.
You know? It's amazing.
Well, again, Sandra's new movie, Ocean's 8, it hits theaters this Friday, and Savannah and I are going to sit down with the entire cast.
Yeah, we'll talk lots about the movie, but boy, what an awesome conversation.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.